guys, welcome back to the show. So today, today we're doing Teardown Tuesdays. We're doing different segments. So what I'm going to be doing is every Tuesday we'll be tearing down different machines, vacuums. I actually have a couple of pet projects that I want to do, so we're gonna have some fun tearing things down on Tuesday, getting to the root and getting to like the core of the machines and how they work and things like that. So we might learn something, and some of the things that there are probably going to be some machines that we will be tearing down, and maybe you may even have requests that you can send out to me that we will start just putting on the list. I have a bunch of machines in my stock room, and I say, you know what? I actually wanted to clear them out, so I said, all right, let me do this. Let me utilize it in a positive way and stuff like that. So, and I hate the idea of just throwing these machines into dumps and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you. I really would prefer if they were reused. You know, it's what it is. It's funny. I complain a lot about the kind of consumer kind of mentality that we have, but at the same time, you know, if you're a business owner, you want people to consume your products, right? You know, so it's like if okay, you're a lawyer, right, and maybe you're a good person, or change or some things made legal, then there's a revenue stream that get cut off. So how do you balance that, you know? So I guess a person will have to say, well, I'm just, you know, whatever the law is, I'm here to follow the law. So I get that. I kind of get where a person can actually weigh it, but it's got to be something that weighs on an individual. You know, it's got to be one of those things where you have to find a partial way through. So we're part consumer, a lot of us, and part business owners because we do buy things in this market. And, you know, so, you know what I mean? There's no black, you know, honestly, we would love to think everything is black and white. There's really no real black and white with stuff like that. Because if you own a repair business, right, you really would want to have business, right? But you have to also be careful not to wish for calamity on people in order for you to have business. That's the other side of this thing. You know, I can't really wish for negativity for other individuals in order for me to prosper. But a lot of people do that. I get that. And a lot of people even design their programs to prey on unsuspecting people. Okay. Now I have nothing against, you know, marketing and sales and things like that, because at the end of the day, they're free to market to you, right? And you as an individual are also free to accept or reject. And that goes when it comes to ideas, you know, culture, way of life, things like that. There are people in our country, right, that they migrated here, okay, legally, right? Migrated here, brought a lot of their culture. They found their people here, and they say, well, I'm going to hold on to this culture. I'm not going to buy into what I see, you know, which is well and good. So again, we still hold that responsibility to decide whether or not we're going to buy in. So on one hand, a lot, especially like a lot of the race hustler people, on one hand, those things irritate me to see that, man, you're really pushing this thing on a whole group of people, or the people with the whole white guilt thing, and you're just pushing this thing on a whole group of people, right? But at the same time, they have the freedom to do that. But you also have to be free enough to say, no, I'm not buying into that. Or let me find out more information before I dive right in. So anyway, a lot of my motivation comes from thoughts like that. So anyone you know, get where I'm coming from. But anyway, all that said and done, right? It is the market we're in. I'm here to teach you, or share with you, or even experience with you, or make the mistakes with you about these different things that I'm doing. And I purposely, some of the things that I do, I purposely don't do it ahead of time. Like I have a starter here that I want to mess with, and I may, if I have time today, we'll do it. but I've never opened up a starter to see what the motor looks like. I'll be doing it like if I do it with you guys, it's right in front of you as it's happening. So just keep that in mind. All right. So anyway, we're gonna move on. Okay, and I want to thank all these subscribers. I want to thank the members of the channel. Anyone who bought me a coffee, there's a link in the description. Buy me a coffee. I saw a couple of guys put it up there, and I was like, "What is that?" They keep saying, "Buy me a coffee." And well, let me look it up. And then I found out there's an actual website. I was like, "Oh God!" So people have many ways they can support their favorite channels. That's going to keep bringing things that's going to help them, and that's the idea of what I'm doing here. And sometimes the lives though are my free flowing, just kind of just throwing it out there, spitballing with you guys. So if you're down with the lives, meet me here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Other than that, if you just do a basic search for a specific repair or something like that, then the rest of the channel will have that for you. Okay. All right, guys. So let me go into kind of reminding you what we have going on here, right? So now we have our MonroeVacuums.com. We're constantly working on our little our mini website here. And it honestly, it's funny. The website started out as just a way for people to find out where my location is. And when I changed my POS kind of system, all of a sudden that whatever I'm selling, I get to put on the store. So it wasn't really kind of designed to be a full-fledged kind of supply store, but it turned out that we're turning it into one. A lot of people have purchased items from us after seeing our videos, so you can feel free to do so. And also, about the GMArtshirts.com. So one of the shirts I had on, I had no mulligans allowed. No mulligans needed. My bad. No mulligans needed. And the girl at the store was like, and there was a guy that worked there with her, and he knew what it meant, but so he had his own little chuckle. But she's like, "What does that mean?" And I let her understand that. Well, it's from golf, but really, what it is that in golf, it was a personal thing I had to overcome. So in golf, right, you're going up to the tee, and a lot of times on the first hole, depends on the group you're with, right? They'll give you an opportunity to like if you miss your first shot, you get a second one. But then which is really supposed to be the mulligan, right? Which is the second chance shot, right? If you made a real bad shot. And so we would abuse that one, and then we'll have our mulligans. Now we normally would hold on to our mulligans until we really need it. I think we get one per 9 hole or something like that, which is a do-over, like one more shot, right? And the idea of no mulligans needed is I found out that I was going up to the tee with the attitude that I had a second shot, and I noticed that what it did, it almost guaranteed that my first shot was gonna go, I was gonna slice it or hook it or whatever. Mostly slice, to be perfectly honest with you. I wouldn't mind hooking it because if I slice it with a hook, it may land in the middle. I tried that too, man. I tried facing all the way to the left, just so if it, if it does slice, it'll land in it. Anyway, I love the game because that's what it does to you, and you're constantly trying to readjust. You're constantly having to take responsibility for your actions. So, um, and it's all about it's about your personal self improvement. Anyway, but anyway, I told her what the show was about. It's like, listen, I'll take a second chance, but I'm gonna try to do it right the first time. So it's a frame of mind. So if you're one of those people who are down with that, and that's your message, right? So listen, I want to do it right the first, because that's what I teach my kids, and I have to keep reminding them. Obviously, the thing it's not like one word you say to them and it sticks for the rest of their life. It's constant, never ending. So I said, listen, if you're gonna put your hands to it, at least put your best foot forward. Don't just blase it. Don't just say, well, all right, fine. I'll just, I'll do it. Because you're going to get what you expect, right? And and for those people who say, well, what happened if you put your best foot and it doesn't work out? Well, then it doesn't work out. But it's not going to be because you didn't do it, because it's going to ride on you. That guilt is going to ride in the back of your brain that you're not doing your best. right? So anyway, that's my little thing for my shirts. So if you guys like those things, pick one up. We'll send one out to you. Some of these crazy characters are my own little designs. I have to get back into that, but yeah, it'll happen. Also, don't forget we have a backpack on sale. The Titan backpacks. Now we have other backpacks we can get a hold of. It just so happens that this one happens to be on sale, and a lot of my customers use Hoover backpacks. They use protein backpacks. This happened to be a very affordable, and at the same time, it's a very good system. So if you guys need backpacks, pick one up. All right, backpacks are a good thing to have for your backup vacuum. Okay, so if you ever think about that, so okay, okay. I know. Look, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot of you want to support the channel, right? But we're on this swipe, 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 move, move, move. And if at one point you're watching our videos and you say, you know what, this guy really did something to help change my life. He saved me some money. I want to support the channel. Some people don't like to just say I'm going to donate. They may want to purchase something that they get. So go to the website, pick up a shirt, go to our if you want some parts, pick it up. If I don't have the part, just kind of contact me and I'll do what I can to get it out to you, okay? All right, folks. We're going to keep moving. We're going to go on to this next thing. So, before I continue, I have my comment of the week that one of them came in today. And I just want to big up some folks who are doing their thing. Hold on, let me see if I can find this comment here, and then we're gonna get over to this Kirby. All right. Um. Hmm. 2 hours ago. Let's slide over. 2 hours ago. Oh my God, I've been doing this wrong for years. No wonder I had built up at the belt all this time. Okay, so this was a Kirby video, and I was showing them how to change the belt. So, uh, you know, I'm glad it helped. I'm glad it helped this person. Okay. I have one more that I want to do. A day ago. All right. That was I want to do like the comments of the week, like the best ones. I have some people just asking questions, but I like that one there. Oh, I have another one that I liked. Someone gave me a nice compliment, man. You guys, hey, listen, don't be afraid to give me a compliment, man. I like them. Um, Look at this one. I love your explanation of the machine and how it works, as well as your sense of humor. Which machine is this one here? That was the big green, I believe. Yep, the big green machine. Well, and this is what, Patty? Hey, Patty, thanks for tuning in. All right. Appreciate it. I appreciate it, Patty. All right. Okay, so let's get over to the next thing. Now, before I slide up, guys, I am one for advancements, and because the nature of the business that I'm in. Think about it, the first vacuum cleaner was probably I think was invented in the 1800s. Just like a pump type systems, they had a whole bunch of different types. Um, someone sent me a link, and they contact me through Facebook of all places. But anyway, they have some ladies that just went up into to orbit the Earth, or at least go to the top to look down and see. And it was an all-girl crew, right? And I think, let me see if I have a list. I have a list of who was on this flight. An all-female crew on the board of the Blue Origins, all right, NS-31 mission, including amazing women alongside Katy Perry. All right, you have Lauren Sanchez, a journalist, right? Um, which is what, Jeff Bezos' fiance? Okay, all right. You have Gail King, all right, media. I think she's on CBS. All right, and A- Aisha or Aisha Bo Aisha. It could be Aisha or Aisha. Aisha, former NASA scientist and entrepreneur, and Amanda. I think it's Nguyen. My bad. Sorry if I got that name wrong. All right. And Carrie Ann Flynn and Emily Palandrelli. All right. So, Space Girl, Space Gal. Okay. Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I think this is so cool. I think it's cool. If forget about whether or not these girls are aligned with your politics or whatever it is. That's besides the point. The point is that we sent these ladies up into space. And if you look at, I know, I mean, it is funny. Guys were kind of making fun of the Jeff Bezos space rocket, the shape and all that stuff. But I'll be honest with you, man. You know what I'm excited about? The fact that we're doing it. We're doing like the stuff that we used to see back in the days. People are doing it. They're now literally flying people to we're getting ready to go to space. The ships now able to come back down, and not well. The ship they're trying to make it where the ships can land. So the same way we see, Star Wars and Star Trek and all those guys, and where a ship can take off and then the ship can come back and land like that. Right now, our rockets. They take off the boosters before used to just throw in the ocean, right? And they were just done. Now Elon Musk have it where the boosters can land. I think China is also working on stuff like that where the boosters can now come back and you can reuse them, which is efficient. But then the little triangular shape, the actual capsule, it still have to be parachuted down and it still have to splash in the water. I think that will be the next upgrade to space travel, is where these things can land the same way the boosters can. So anyway, I'm excited about stuff like this. All right, because it's moving the culture forward, and we just have to be responsible. That's all. No big deal. Okay. I think this was. Take a look at this. I think um this is showing the Starship. This is Tesla's deal, I think. And I mean, these are positive changes, man. I am so down with this. Okay? Totally, 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 totally. All right, let's get over to the shared screen. Don't forget, if you have any comments, put in the chat. I just opened the chat. Hey, Larry. Larry, I just saw you, buddy. Man, Larry is one of the friends of the channel. And Larry gave me some real good advice the other day. I think it was my volume. I think it was the volume or my camera. Listen, man, I accept it all. All right. What's up, Larry? All right, Larry's a cool cat. I think Larry won our robot vacuum. I had a robot vacuum that was on the showroom, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to just discount this, right, and just give it. I said, let me put it as a giveaway, and Larry won the giveaway. So big up to Larry. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's go over to the browser and let's take this Kirby apart. Okay, and let's see. Let me go over to my shared overhead cam here. I think that's good enough space. I should be able to do it. I just have to have this camera move with me. Let's see if it's going to do its job. Let's see if it does its job. Oh, the volume. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I said I was going to try to keep the mic close to me, right? Yes. How is the volume now? Um, how is the volume now? Yeah, I was supposed to try to keep this mic as close as possible because if you don't, it'll not capture everything. So I have to keep moving it. See, like I have to move it with me. So as I'm moving, I got to be conscious to move my camera, my mic with me. The camera moves on its own, even though I want a better model, but because it loses. It's like forget where it's at, and all of a sudden it gets stuck looking at the ceiling or something. But anyway, here we go. All right, Kirby. All right, so Kirby hit the market in 1914. All right, let me see if I can get a seat. Maybe I can sit down and do this. Let's see if I can sit down. I got a chair here. Kirby hit the market in 1914. James B. Kirby, right? And Kirby didn't invent the first vacuum. If I guess you could do a quick chat search as to who. Um, I like chat better than all the other ones. I'll be honest with you. I mean, Grok is good too. I hit chat first. Um, because I try Siri and Siri's like, okay, this is what I found on the web. Go look it up. It's like, damn, what kind of what kind of assistant is this? All right, let's do this. All right. Okay, so I'm not sure who the first guy. I have to look it up. The very first person that introduced vacuum system, because I believe they were kind of based on the video that the gentleman sent me. They were like the richer folks would get like demonstrations of them. They wanted them to buy. I think they were like big pump machines that um like I guess they were pumping air the other way, so they were pulling the air in. Filtration systems was an issue back then. They haven't, it took them a while to figure that out. And I think Kirby's very first design, I think, was a water vacuum. I believe it was a water style, like rainbow. And then it went to I think it's called the grasshopper. And then it just kind of advanced beyond that. All right. And now they have the Avalier Platinum. Okay. With all these extra things. Now, okay, let's move on. All right, I took out the tech drive because I really want to focus on the motor. I took out the tech drive already on this one. Is this a diamond or an ultimate? It's an ultimate. A diamond would have a kind of a wiring off and on button back here with a circuit board at the bottom of the motor. So this is an ultimate G, um, not the ultimate diamond. So this came before the diamond. All right. Anyway, and most of the Kirby motors are pretty much the same, guys. Okay. Let's see. I gotta change this here, Larry, so I can see this. I gotta move my I gotta move the screen so I can see the chat as they come up. Let me see something here. Blow this up. All right, a little better. I'm in the car. You're in the car. Okay, cool, cool. It's a little better. Golly, it's a little better. Okay, I got it. I got to do it like the podcasters now. Then, okay, it's a little better, man. Thanks a lot, Larry. Okay, here we go. Let's dive into this thing. Okay. I was watching, what's funny? I was watching now some of you know I used to sell Kirby's. I sold them in New York, and then I came to North Carolina, some in North Carolina. And I think the first thing that dawned on me was how nicer the people were here. The things I heard about the South it was mostly negative. It was like, oh, those are racist and all this other stuff. And you come here and it was like, what sold me to come here? It was a guy from Applebee's. I went to Applebee's and the service I got sold me. It was like, I said, because we even went to I'm getting some T20, T15. Mostly T20 is going to be needed for this vacuum here. So I figured while I'm doing this, I'm telling you my little story. What sold me to come to it was a business kind of a deal, but I really came for vacation. I was going on a road trip and I met up with a friend of mine who was still in Kirby because I had gotten out for a second. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna try to find my T20 screws. Okay. And he said, man, he took me to the guy's house. It was over in this rich part of Charlotte area, big mansion and everything. And he runs the whole region. I was like, man, yeah, I want to get back in. He said, come on down here. So all that was all good, but it wasn't quite sold yet that we should just make the move, right? And then I went to Applebee's, and the service I got from this young kid, he could have been in school. It was excellent, beyond excellent. It was at that time, comparing the service I got back in New York, and big up to New Yorkers, man. I'm not I'm not bashing you. It's just it is a different environment, and you operate different in that environment. I get it. Survival skills, right? But if the place was so bad, right? Maybe it was at one time, right? Of course, right? But um, but they were talking to me as if it was like it was 100 years ago, right? So they speak about it as if it was happening 100. No, still came here, man. I said, wow, these guys are fantastic. These people, I said, I'm moving here, man. I like this place. These guys are great. Everyone was waving at you as you're driving by, and I used to be like, oh man, I missed the wave. Anyway, all right, let me move on. But just let you know, that's what sold me. That's what made me say yes. Okay, I'm definitely coming here. And if I could, that kid changed my life. Imagine that. He have no idea that if it wasn't for him, I probably would not have made the decision. That one kid. Anyway, all right. Okay, all right. So here we go. Let's take these. I'm gonna take this apart. Let me move all this stuff out of my way. Oh, by the way, last thing before that. This here. If you look at this thing I have here. Wait, am I frozen? Give me a second, guys. What happened to the camera? Give me a moment. Give me a moment, guys. I don't know what's going on here. Um, my overhead cam seemed to be frozen. Golly. Give me a moment. I said to myself, I was not gonna have any hiccups at all today, and it was like, I'll show you. How's that? Okay, I just reset it. Holy cow. Okay, it's not what happens to you; it's how you handle it. Okay. Just remember that. All right, so here we go. This here was this was that shark I was working on the other day, and I had the burgundy neck may have been the cause of the short, and I did something, and I don't know, I did something and I messed up the head. I forgot what it was exactly, but anyway, I ended up just purchasing a whole new. If you see this unit behind me here, it's not new. Can you see it? Oh my God. All right, forget it. Over here. I just got another head. Solve the problem. I got another head. I was like, all right, let's solve the problem. All right. But I still want to figure out what happened in this. And what it was somewhere inside here that I couldn't see, somewhere in the line in here, was shorting out the stuff. I put like two of these on here to test them out, two different circuit boards, and it short out the second circuit board that was working perfectly. Okay, so I have some exploration I need to do on that one. Exploration. All right, and here we go. All right. Sorry for the delay, folks. I just had to kind of make sure I keep you guys up to date with where I am, what's going on with me. All right, here we go. All right, so T20. Check this out. All right. Okay. We're gonna take this one off here. Man, Larry, I'm glad you even pulled me up in your car, dude. That is awesome, man. I do that a lot with shows, and I'm honored that I am a show that you would actually pull up while you're driving. I hope I hope it's good. Okay, so I took off the headlight assembly. I just want to get rid of this for now. All right, because our focus is this motor right here. Our focus is this guy. Okay, so you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. I don't believe the new Kirby's require this. I think they eliminated this little screw right here. So I think they just slide this duck into place now, okay? If my memory serves me right. So I'm going to take a Phillips screwdriver and just kind of take this guy off here. Okay. And you should be able to just use a flat head. I mean, you don't have to mess with it now. I just took the screw out. You can take it out now, but you don't really have to mess with it right now. You can wait until it's time to take out the actual motor, and then I just kind of pry it here, and I just give it a little lift. If you can see it, and I just pop it up, and it'll just come right up. Okay. All right. And now it's up. See that? So these things just slide in. They're not kind of held together. So it's like when you put it in, when you put it on the machine, it kind of slides right into place like that. And this is a duct for the burn off for your for the carbon. Okay. Um, or dust. Because the carbon is actually back here, if you think about it. Man, I have to move this closer to the camera. Sorry, guys. Maybe let me try to adjust this camera because I'm actually at the edge here and it's not really, I can't really reach all the way over there. Well, I have long arms. Okay. Let me shrink the box where my picture is in so you can see more of the table. Okay. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Yep, that might work. How's that? Holy cow, as if come on, man. Did it shrink? Yes, it did. All right, fantastic. Okay, here we go. So now let's take out the plate. Let's take off this plate. Okay. T20. Listen, I wasn't always I didn't always work on machines. Um I was too busy running around focusing on building wealth. I was I was sold on the idea that just pay someone else to do it. And so I never got good at it. I never got good at those things until later on in life. And so anyway, let me show you this. I'm gonna show you something while I prepare for the next part. You see this here? I saw this meme on Facebook, and after timing belt replacement, car won't start. Have spark plugs, but still won't start. And you have a couple of comments on there, pretty slick. Obviously, this teeth is supposed to be turned the other way. It's supposed to be facing down, so this gear can actually move the belt forward. And this here is a flat pulley here, and it's supposed to run along the smooth side of the belt. I just didn't want to be this guy anymore. That was my thing. I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the guy that didn't know how to change my own brakes or my own tires. So finally, I learned how to do these things. Okay, so here we go. Let's take this out. All right. Yeah, it became very expensive to keep repairing everything that's happening wrong. If you have the money or you don't have the time, then yeah. But if you kind of get fed up, it'd be nice if you knew how to get things done. All right, so I'm taking all these little screws out. All of these are still T20. Okay. Now I'm gonna slide it out, just grabbing it like this. Let me see if I can do it where you can see it properly. Okay. Right now my connection can only hold two cameras, so I can't really get multiple camera angles right now. I haven't figured it out yet, but maybe one day I will. So I have two cameras. All right, so here we go. Let's slide this out. I'm gonna lift it and pull it this way. Okay, and pull it out. And there you go. You have the motor. This is the brain. This is the body, brain, heart, and everything else of the Kirby right here. Okay. This little design is what's made it possible for there are about what 10 8 to 10 different units that people can hook up to a Kirby. You have an air compressor. You can turn the Kirby into an air compressor, a canister, vacuum with hose, use the hose for suction, an upright vacuum, a portable deep cleaner. You have a floor mop type of uh, setup that they have now. Before they used to have a floor polisher. I'm not sure if they still have the polisher. Um, like a buffer. Yeah, they used to have a fluffer, carpet fluffer. They have a shampooer. They had man, they used to have knife sharpeners and Dremel style hookups. There's a whole lot of things. Even they used to have a hair cutter with the Kirby. Um, so all right. But this little design here, imagine that. This little system is what make it possible for them to be able to do that because what they're doing is they're reusing the front of the Kirby as a shampoo connector because it's so they're just using the belt, right? This belt system here. Now, most vacuum systems, the this is hidden. This part is hidden in the body. So when you have to take off the bottom panel, you're kind of stretching your belt to make it over to the shaft. You know, like the brush. In other case, the brush would be here on a regular vacuum, right? And the belt was stretched from the brush to the shaft. That means the shaft is facing this way. Kirby says, well, how about this? Let's stick the shaft out of the vacuum, okay? Let's have the shaft facing forward. And then what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use the front of the vacuum and we're going to design different hookups that will utilize the belt or some that just needs this to be covered, right? And then we're going to use the side to collect dirt, but we can also use the side to blow air. So that's kind of what they did with these with just with this simple design. All right. But let's break into it. Let's take it apart. Okay. So this is a Phillip for that holds in the hole in this power switch here. And this is where your cord connects to from the outside, right? This is your, when you hit the foot pedal, you are selecting this, okay? And when you put the bag on the side, what's happening is the bag is sliding this forward while the vacuum is pushing this in. And what you just did was made a connection, okay? It's like hitting the on and off switch on a vacuum. You just what you did was do on. This is on. So even though this says it's on, right? On and off, this is making the contact. Boom, right? Now that you have the contact, this guy says, go, stop. Okay? See that? So that's the safety switch. All right. Hope I explained it properly. One day, you know what? One day I mean, these are not really designed to open up like that, but they, in a way they are. Because if you look at the clips on the side, one, two, three, uh, they are. Maybe one day we'll open this up. Okay. All right. Okay. Next up. All right. So we have our fan blade. So um, there is a tool that you would use to hold the shaft, the armature back here in place while you try to move the fan blade. Now, without the tool, you have to kind of do it a way that is probably not the best way, but it is the way we have right now without that tool. Okay. All right. So what you would do is you get something thin and long like this and stick it back here. And what happens, if you notice, it stops the fan from going any further because what you're doing, you just kind of you hooked up with the there's an inner fan on the inside. And that inner fan is designed to kind of blow some air this way towards the motor to kind of keep it cool. All right. And I gotta remember. You know what? Let me leave this belt right here, and this is my X to keep putting my machine back to the X. Okay. All right. Okay. Make sure I got my podcast mic close. Okay. Let's keep this rocking. All right. So that's that, right? Um, let's keep it moving. Okay. So you stick this in here, and what you would get now, what this is an official tool to remove the the um the shaft. the fan, right? So this is I just face it towards me, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this shaft this way to loosen it up, and I just did just a little turn, right? Now you can use a pliers or something and grab this and move it, but then you risk kind of making this like a rigid stuff like that. So if you're gonna do it, probably do it here instead of here, because the belt has to ride here. So you don't want like spiky metal because of the pliers you used. That kind of because you let's say you have to force it, you have to kind of now you start to strip the the metal. If you're gonna do that, do it on this surface. Okay. But if you have something like this, now what I've used in the past, but be careful when you use your tools because you can break this. Okay. If it's valuable, but I've used stuff like this. See that? And then I just turn it. Okay. All right. All right. So now this comes right off fan blade, all these pieces. Now sometimes the fan is hard to kind of pull off like this one. And what I would do is kind of pry it off. Okay. So let me get two flathead screwdrivers, right? And I will stick it behind right here and just kind of this, and now sometimes one won't work and you need it on both sides. Like so it's pop out at the same time. Now, before I go any further, let me show you something else I've experienced. I've experienced fan blades that melted on this thing. Okay, it got so hot that it melted, right? And I had to use a Dremel. I've had to use a whole lot of different things to cut away at the plastic. Okay, because the metal is sturdy. So, and just be careful not to dig into the metal if you can avoid it. But I've had to cut away at fan blades just to get them off. Okay, so you may even run into that when you're working with these. Okay, let's see if we can still pull this off. Okay, got it. This one came right up. Okay, all right, next up. Let's take off the extras, right? Let's take off the carbon brushes. Okay, this is also a Phillips screwdriver. Okay. I saw one of my friends on Facebook posted just because I don't agree with you don't mean we have to be enemies. And I thought it was good. I said, yeah, it's say it, man, say it loud. you know, just because I don't agree with you don't mean we have to be enemies, man. We can have. I saw a picture the other day about it was another meme, and it was a cave paintings, and it says and it was like cavemen and bison or what do you call those buffaloes, and they had arrows and they had spears, and they're like they're going for the hunt. And the meme said, I don't recall seeing cave paintings of salads. I was like, and people say, "Oh, we're supposed to be eating berries and nuts." I'm like, okay, maybe, sure, sure, all right. But guys, like, yeah, I know, but a steak is better. Oh man, I have a lot of family members that are vegans, and I don't bash vegans. You kidding me? No, I have a lot of good people. Let me fix this camera, man. This thing is like cutting off the top of my head here. I don't know if this will work. If the thing. Let's keep it moving. Yeah, if I just because I don't agree with like some guys don't think the Kirby is the best machine for vacuuming, and when it comes to deep cleaning carpets, I happen to think the Kirby is the guy, right? But I do know now if you notice I'm using a screwdriver. This is already locked in these nuts back here, so you don't have to do nothing. You don't need a pliers for these. Let's use a screwdriver because they're held tight with this bracket. The brackets holding the nuts. Okay, so all you have to do is just use the screw and take them out. So I'm taking off this face plate here. Okay, and sometimes you guys may hear like a grinding noise on Kirby's, and sometimes it's the bearing. It's not the actual whole motor itself. It's just the bearings. So sometimes this plate is the only thing that needs to be replaced. I'm talking about the grinding noise, "Arr, arr," and it's sometimes when it's shutting down, you hear it more. It sounds like metal rubbing against each other and stuff like that. Come on, this is my what am I doing? Let me use this. I'm actually keeping it in because it's trying to push out because I'm using force. It's pushing it out and it's trying to get away from the bracket. So let me just use this drill bit. Okay. All right. Here you go. And if you want, you could just put this in here. I mean, nothing else is going to fit into this nut anyway. So, but you could just put this away like that if you want. All right. So I think it has a bottom. Yep. We have a bottom also. Okay. Okay. And take this one out. Okay. Now I have the starter here. I may do it in a different show, maybe next week. Here's a starter, right? I replaced a week ago. I put a new starter in, and because I did it with my old one, and I figured, you know what? I did it before. I could do it. Changing, you know. All right, now let's wiggle this off. Let's wiggle it off. Come on, you can get out. Come on. Okay, let me do this. You see how this looks right here? That might be causing this little resistance. So I'm going to get, what can I use? Sandpaper is probably good. I'm trying to be lazy right now because I don't want this camera to follow me all over the damn place and then it loses itself. Do I have sandpaper nearby? Yes, I do. I do have sandpaper nearby. Okay. See, I'm moving too fast for this guy. All right. So I'm gonna use some sandpaper and just see if I can just take down. And you could probably just use, and maybe it could have just been oil, but sometimes things get hard and mold up on it. Let's see. Let's see if it comes off again. It went further. It's almost out. It's off. Okay. Now take a look at the inside of that. Okay. So that bearing here, sometimes this is what needs to be replaced. Now, I think they sell the whole thing as one hold, but there are people that can buy these. They have sites. You get the size and everything else. So if you notice how this is set up, you can take it right there. There are two clips here. I won't really focus on that right now because I want to get further in. But if you look at the clips at the top, okay, all you have to do is get something similar to this. Probably not as bulky as this. Maybe a really skinny needle nose pliers, squeeze it together because it has two holes in the clips that allow you to put something inside. Let me see if I can give you an idea what I mean. Right, it can put something inside, and when you squeeze it together, it brings it in, and you could pull the clip out because it's just a brace to hold this in, and then this can pop right out. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this to the side for now, though. All right. Okay. So now we're still here, right? We still have our armature. Look at that. Okay. We have our armature here. So look, we still have these. So let's get these out, right? Okay. Now these are what's holding the block inside of the case for the motor. All right. So let's go a little further in. And sometimes a Kirby, all it needs is to replace the armature, really. You don't have to like, buy a new Kirby. Some people could just get a new armature. I'm trying to see if it could fall out. It didn't fall out yet. All right. All right, don't worry. Now, to get the armature to slide it all the way out, you're going to have to take off this clip in the back here and take this gear. And keep note of the position of the gear. If you notice this, the lip of the gear is on the outside, not the inside. All right. Because it's going to match up with the transmission gear. And that lip is on the outside there. So what it does, it keeps this side from sliding off. And then when it connects to the other side, it keeps it from sliding that way. So it's keeping it, it's having a little bit of pressure here and it's having a little pressure here. So it keeps it straight. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can take this off. I'm going to use a flathead because there's a little space right here. Where is it at? Right here that I can stick a piece of flathead and kind of pry it off. Okay, so I'm gonna do that real quick and just kind of keep it covered so you don't zing it across the room. And there it is. Yeah, I should have worn my gloves, man. Should have worn my gloves. Now your hands dirty, and then now you got to put the gloves on. It's too late. Um, okay, so now you get a flathead, and you can just pry this off. Take a look. Come on, play nice. Okay, got it. See that? Oh, didn't I just tell you not to zing it across the room? Gosh. All right, let's see if we can slide this right out. Let's see if I'm missing something else. Am I missing something else? No, I don't think so. Let's see if I can just pull this right out. Yep. And there you go. There's your armature. Okay, that's a Kirby armature. Now, you can even go further. This bearing can come off. I wouldn't mess with this unless you absolutely have to, unless it's like, But then you have to make sure you get it back to the exact spot that it was at. Okay. Um, so you would have to just do due diligence to measure it and make sure it's going to go back to the same place. And they are bearing removers you can buy on Amazon or wherever to just kind of like two clamps that would fit onto this. Um, how do how, how do I best describe it? It's okay. It's like clamps that will go like this, like metal clamps that will go underneath, and then you do something to and it'll just pull this right off. Okay. Okay, great. Now, you can do the same for this guy. To take this fan off, um, you would, if you have to, I don't see why you probably would have to, unless you damage the fan. Look, I'm just prying it out. You see the little clip at the top? So I'm just sticking my needle nose in. I mean, my, what do you call it? Flathead. That's what it looks like. Okay, so you have that clip that's holding that in. Okay. And now this is not that easy to come off because it has ridges here that's designed to hold it into place. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see, turn it. They're tight, they're like very man, can you see it? No, you really can't see it. But they're lines. They're lines here, like lines, like go you can probably hear it. Can you hear it? Okay, anyway, you can't hear it. There are lines here. So this is going to be hard to come off. But still, you would have to pry this off to get this off, okay? If you have. And why would you want to buy a separate fan than this unless, just get the armature and done if you have to replace the whole thing. And sometimes this guy gets all burnt up and because if you run this too low, the carbon brush down to the metal. See the metal pieces? The metal right there? See the metal right there? Okay. If you run it too low, it'll destroy this. Okay. So you have to replace these guys periodically, every couple of years. Okay. And okay, let's see if we can pull that piece out. Let's see if we can get this out of here. Can we get it out of here? See, everything, guys, if you're adventurous enough to try, you know, I say try, man. Everything can be torn down, reverse engineer, right? Isn't that what they is that, isn't that what they say China's doing to our products down there? It's like, oh, I can make this. Look, man, there are I know we copy each other every day, right? We do. We copy each other. And you do your best to not outright copy. You may take inspiration from someone. This, by the way, this is from the inside of here. Okay, so this here is for the inside part where that would kind of give a spring going back there. Okay, let's keep that in mind. And it came right out. Here we go. Yeah. So we can, we copy each other. We do. We learn from each other. That's how electric cars are. I think Musk says he left his designs kind of open so people can kind of use it to because you think it's going to be a net positive for there to be more competition out there, more cars out there. Because honestly, I can see why, especially if you think you are ahead of the market on it and you want to normalize this kind of transportation, you want more people having it because you're battling um, our habit of using gasoline vehicles. So I can see why you leave it open and say, guys, come on, let's join the gang. More for everybody. But when you do it the way these guys do it down there, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if the confidence that bring your if you bring your product to a market, that they're not just going to copy it, they outright take it and then underbid you on it. That's I could see how scary that can be. But anyway, that's besides the point. All right, so that's the takedown, guys. That's the takedown of the Kirby motor. See how basic plastic set up here, okay? And so a lot of these things. Now take a look at this. Now this is what I was actually interested in more to understand, like what's going where when I connect that when I connect this, right? Let me see if it's the right side. Let me see. Am I doing it the right way? Yeah. So when I connect this, when I slide this in, let me see, right? It's the top, right? Yep. This is the way it goes in. So the very top goes through this space because this here has to go for the light, I think. These are the two connect to the carbon brushes. And these two guys, the bottom and the top is for the light. Okay? Now look at this. You slide it in. Let me see. Supposed to be able to slide right in here. Yep. And we're in. We're in. See? And I wanted to see what goes where. You see those copper wiring? Like what goes where? Because you know what I would have loved to do? Do a direct. I would have loved to do a direct, like in an emergency, like how to do a direct wire, like a cord wire. Like, so I'm eliminating the need for the power switch in this particular case, right? And I just want to like wire it to just on and off switch or something. If I could have figured that out. But anyway, I don't know. That's right now. This is beyond me. I don't want to claim to even act as I know what goes where. So this is the light. This top wiring here. Let me use this. This is for the light. This is for the light. the bottom and the top. And how all that works together, man. Look at this. I don't know yet. But the journey is what the journey counts. Okay. Hold on. I think I have another chat here, man. Who's this? It's Larry again. Hey, suggesting about the microphone. See if you can get one that clips the collar. Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll look into that, man. That may be a better thing for me. Okay. If you have any ideas on the camera thing, though, let me know too. Like I had a headphone. I actually have one, but the recordings never went well with it. I don't know, man. I tried a couple of samples, like, I have headphones with camera. You see a lot of guys with the headphones, and the mic is right here. So wherever I go, and this is also wireless, but it just I don't know. I know I'll you know what? I'll go back to the drawing table and I'll try again because my sons they were helping me out with the mic and kind of helping me with the camera and stuff like that. Because, dude, if you saw in any of my early videos and even these, I'm still ruffling through them. It was really, like my iPhone videos were better. Okay. But I figured that, all right, I'm going to have to take a step to go forward and I may stumble a little bit on my way, but I'm going to get my footing. Okay. I'm willing to embarrass myself a little bit as I go forward. Okay. Because it'll be forgotten. All right. It'll be forgotten. Okay. Yeah. You embarrass yourself today, you forget tomorrow. Don't worry about it. It'll be forgotten. And then you can laugh about it someday. All right. But anyway, guys, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all I have time for today. I got to pick up my son from school and get over to the shop. But we will do this. The we will do the starter one day. I want to take it apart. And I'll be honest with you, I want to encourage this in young people in general, you know. Um, explore. Like if think about it for a second. If our kids, I try to get my son to do projects around the house. We're going to be building this pot together that's made of gosh, that's made of it's made of wood. Okay, Sam, I'll call you back. It's made of wood, and he's gonna cut it and everything else. He helped me put in spark plugs, and they're only the reason because I know that I missed a lot of that, and I was clumsy around tools for a while, and I'm still somewhat clumsy, but they're on video games all day, and the wonder for taking things apart would naturally comes to young boys naturally, taking things apart, putting it back together again, breaking it. you know, it's if you're inclined to do that, we have to encourage that, right? And this is why, because the next generation of kids, we still want inventors. We still want those guys that want to make a better TV. We don't want the only people interested in this to be someplace else where we have to go get it someplace else. And I'm sure there's a lot of people here that still like that. But I'm talking about trends. If you watch the trend, most of our people are just online, hooked in all the time, playing video games or on their phones and everything else. And that wonder of, hey, how about it? How about designing my own video game? Or let me take this refrigerator apart. Well, let me find out how to make an AI then. If it's not mechanical, it could be on the web or whatever, an AI type work. But that wonder, I think we should foster that in the kids and stuff. Anyway, that's besides the point. All right, folks, we will see you again. I'm gonna work on an outro video to send us off, but I don't have one yet. All right, guys, and Larry, man, thanks again for tuning in, bro. I really appreciate all the advice and the support, man. Thanks for hanging in there. If listen, Larry, if it was just you and me in the shop right now, it was just we'll just be talking in the shop, pull up a chair and we'll shoot the breeze. So if more people join in, fantastic. But it is normally how my shop is. It's just, customer comes in and uh, they'll spark a conversation and we'll just chat. And some of these guys will just wait until everyone else come by their bags and belts and pick up machines and stuff, and everybody's gone. They're still there, and it's like, hey, man, and they finish up where we left off at. So, I wanted to bring that kind of atmosphere to the channel, and I'll keep working on it until it get better. I'll see you guys Thursday. Yep, Thursday, and we'll go from there. Stay positive. And